Mm. Hey,
Hey.
what's
I
going on?
Not much. I did the Zoom thing where I didn't press my unmute button. So
Uh-oh.
there we go. No, we're good now.
Okay. Oh, where's Jake? Did we lose him?
I think we lost him. Uh-oh.
Oh,
I don't know what
Lord.
happened.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Knowledge and Power Show. Once again, we thank you for
Hello.
joining us. We appreciate your time. Listen, we've got a special guest host. Special guest host. Give it up for Miss Talitha Harris.
Hello.
There's Jake. Talitha is the niece of Rayford McKinstry, who is attending a concert tonight. So he asked his niece to come in and fill in for him. And I believe she's going to do a phenomenal job
Oh yes.
in his place. And if she does too good of a job, Ray might be out of a job. I know he's not listening, so I can say that.
Well,
But
when he does.
yeah, Talitha, tell us a little bit about yourself and
Sure.
anything you want the people to know about you.
Sure. It's an honor to be here, to hang out with you guys. Again, I'm Talitha Harris. I'm a wife, a mom,
All right.
a business owner. So I'm just happy to be here to talk about the topic on today, which is something I'm very interested in.
Good. Now, what is the business that you own?
I am actually the founder of a nonprofit called
What?
Noah's
Hey.
Network.
You said Noah's Network?
Noah's Network, yes.
What is that nonprofit?
It is an organization dedicated to helping families with children of special needs. I have a special needs son. He's on the autism spectrum. And so we are, we're a new organization, but we're trying to get geared up to be able to offer support and offer peer groups and support to the parents and families, resources, and just to be a organization to kind of walk with families through the process of assisting their children.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I didn't know that. We started the foundation
Right. I didn't
nonprofit organization at the end of last year. One that's in honor of Joshua, and its focus is on promoting the message of suicide prevention and supporting those families who have been impacted in our community. And so we're getting started, and we are instituting some programs and things of that nature in the process of doing some fundraising ourselves. So that's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Let me know. We'll talk more off camera here. I get some more information from you.
Absolutely.
Hey.
All right. So we just had Alex. He's gone, but he'll be back. So yeah, I'm a little rusty on the taking the reins aspect, but what's going on, everybody? How was the week?
My week was pretty cool. I mean, pretty smooth. The highlight was that 65-degree day that we
Exactly.
had.
That one day, yesterday,
Right, out of the blue.
it was
We'll
phenomenal.
take it.
Man, people was riding
Can't
their
beat
bikes.
that one too.
Oh man, it was a great sunny day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I went to the store and got some vegetables because I'm trying to eat healthy.
Oh, that's
And I'm trying to keep myself busy while Michelle is out of town.
She's still gone.
She's still gone, man. She's still in Atlanta, taking care of her family and enjoying that weather. Now they've had the last couple of days 80 degrees and stuff like that.
Wow.
So
Right.
our little 65 is paltry compared to what they having.
Right.
She getting a tan and everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so yeah, but the highlight of my week has really just been planning for our event next Thursday, Josh's birthday.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So we've been getting the word out, hitting up social media, talking with other people that we're trying to collaborate with, and trying to get sponsors. And so this has been a busy week regarding that. So more details to come. Watch your social media, watch our feeds on Facebook and Instagram as we are continuing to ride this momentum until the event takes place. And the event basically is we're celebrating Josh's birthday by having a charity event where we're going to introduce to the community, the foundation, meet some of the board members. We're going to have the function at a place called the Love Your Selfie Factory. It's a selfie museum where, you know, people can come in and they have like 20 selfie stations with different props, and you can come in and take all kinds of pictures and videos. And if you decide to take part in that, you know, those proceeds will go towards the foundation as well. And people have an opportunity to donate and have an opportunity to enter raffles to win some prizes and things of that nature. So it's going to be fun, and we're looking forward to it. How about you, Talitha? You got anything exciting this week in your highlights?
Well, you know, I just came back from out of town in Mexico. So
wait. I thought she was gonna say I was in Boston.
No,
I came from out.
I'm like way spoiled. I came back. At least it wasn't so cold, but you know, it was
from Mexico. Which part of Mexico was it?
Yeah.
We were in Cancun.
Oh,
everything. Like I woke up to the beach every morning.
Come on.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we went last April, Talitha.
Did you really?
Yeah, girl. I know what you're talking about.
Did you love it? Yeah.
Man.
Yes.
I'll definitely go back. Like I'm going back.
We had the balcony room at the Hard Rock Cafe Hotel.
Nice.
And every day we slept with the doors open, the patio doors.
Yeah.
The weather was so warm and the breeze is coming in, and we would just hear the ocean, and you wake up and you see the sunset, the sun setting. Yeah. You know, we would catch the sunrise, and we would catch a part of the sunset from our room. We would see the sunrise every morning. It was just,
it's beautiful. We had the same. We go walk on the beach for the sunrise every morning.
Beautiful.
It was wonderful.
We were there for 4 or 5 days, and just wasn't enough time, man.
It wasn't. Nope.
That kind of vacation, yeah.
I just need at least maybe 2-3 more days.
Yeah, we need to go back so we can spend more time on the beach, because we spent
definitely
a lot of time around the pool.
At that one.
Yeah, we were around the pool a lot. We went downtown and did some shopping, but we didn't spend nearly enough time walking the beach like I wanted to. So next time we go, it's beach time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's been I'm coming off of that for my week, but just getting adjusted back to work, back to getting the
Jeez, oh peas. What a transition.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Did you take an extra day before you went back to school and work or whatever?
Yes, because we came back on Saturday. So I had Sunday to kind of get it together.
Good.
For Monday. And our flight was delayed on the way in. The pilot had a car accident, so we had to sit on the runway for almost an hour waiting for a new pilot. He was okay.
Waiting on the pilot.
Wow.
Yeah, so but
I'm glad he was okay. That's good.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Right.
Wow, that's I can relate to the coming home experience from you know. So, but
you need that transition day.
Yeah, you do.
So if you guys are anything like I was, man, you're always mentally planning the next visit.
Right.
You know,
right. Mentally, yeah.
Figure out when can we get back there again.
Right. How do we do this again?
I went with there was a gentleman on our trip that his thought process was, what kind of lifestyle do I need to build that I can do this on the regular?
Wow.
Multiple times a year, and it doesn't hurt my budget.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
So we gotta figure that out, guys.
Yes,
we do. And I gotta do it like that, because when I went to Mexico, it was a cruise dock. I want to go when I can enjoy.
You gotta go to the resort.
Yeah.
You gotta go to the resort.
You gotta put your feet all the way on the soil, like.
Yes, exactly.
You got to, man. It's a whole different experience. Yeah.
And the people were beautiful, like very friendly and
friendly, laid back,
welcoming, laid back. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, you live in an environment like that, man. I can't.
How could you be? Right?
Yeah, how could you be?
No, you can't be
everybody feels life, but I'm like, how can you be stressing in a place like this?
Right. Exactly. It was great.
So yeah, we got to get back there, guys. So let's make that plan.
Yeah.
Right.
But so I think we got a great topic tonight.
What's our topic today?
I think we got a great topic. Our topic is, so we've coined this month of March Millennial March, and because we have a very strong millennial demographic, believe it or not, that spans all across the globe. Not only do we have listeners right here in the good old U.S. of A., but we have a strong base in Germany, certain parts of Africa, the UK, and so
Awesome.
we have and they're in that age bracket too. So we wanted
Okay.
to take some time and really kind of speak to the millennial generation. And what we did was we invited a special guest who you saw briefly a few minutes ago. His name is Alex Woods. Alex is going to come on and talk to us about his experience after graduating college and living life on his own, and just kind of, for lack of a better term, speak for the generation.
Yes.
And so, but just about Alex. Alex is an MSU grad. And Alex is also a podcast host. He has a wonderful podcast called the My History Podcast, and he's going to let us know a little bit more about that. And overall, great individual. But before he comes on, you know what you need to do? You need to give us a thumbs up.
Hey.
You need to make sure you leave some comments. Ask Alex some questions. He's going to be the expert tonight.
Right.
Make sure you share the broadcast. Let people know we're on, what we're talking about, and most importantly, if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe to the channel. And you can also subscribe to all of your favorite podcast outlets. You can find us there and subscribe to our shows on your preferred outlet.
Join the family.
Without further ado, please welcome Mr. Alexander Woods.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
Welcome, Alex.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome.
How's it going, man? How's it going?
It is going well as can be. Yes.
All right.
All right.
Good. Blessed, highly favored, blessed through the stress and blessed through the mess, as they say. So,
my man, what's up? We love it. We love it. Well, we thank you for taking the time tonight and coming on and being able to share in this topic with us. Laid back, we just want to talk about. Now we know what life was like back when we were in between 18 and 35. And when we finally left the house and walked away from campus and, had that first apartment, had those first bills. I remember.
Oh, take me back.
I remember. I'm taking you back. 1991.
Wow.
No, 1992 was the year.
That was the year.
That was the year. And we were standing, not Jake, but Ray and another friend of ours, John, were standing at the apartment manager's office. I can't remember the name of the apartment complex, but we were about to sign the lease. Okay, and at that time, they didn't have the individual leases like they do now.
Okay.
But we had to all sign the lease, though. Yeah. And Ray looked at me and said, "Man, it's a car payment right here. We could walk away from this right now and have a car." And I was like, you know what? Well, do I want a car or an apartment? I was doing this right here in my head. Which one do I want? We signed the lease.
Of course.
But that was our first foray into having to pay our own bills. And I will just say I did a horrible job.
Paying bills?
Paying the bills. I did a horrible job.
We all had a learning curve on that, I'm sure.
Man, my learning curve was heavy because I misrepresented my family and all Black people by the way I mishandled those bills.
Did you have a lot of shutoffs?
Ray and John got on my case. Man, just call them and make arrangements or something, man. Just please.
Just living your best life.
Man. So I learned a lot in that time about, just the reality of making sure your bills are paid. And, we're gonna transition over to Alex, but that was the experience we had, in it. Is it the same, for people of your generation, Alex? What is the experience like, starting life on your own after you've gone to school and you've left your parents' house and now it's all up to you?
So, speaking on the bills part of it, I think it helped me out earlier in my career. I want to say, like, when I was 18, I picked up a job at a clothing store because I wanted to make some money on the side and be able to, like, go with friends in high school and pay for things without having to ask for money from my parents. I just wanted to do that for myself. So bills and expenses and gas at the time was all more relative to me at that point than not, especially coming after the recession. I graduated in 2011, so this was about 3 years after recession, but I had a job back in 2010. So this is still 2 years after. So it was still, the effects of the recession were still alive and well in a lot of people. So getting the acceptance letter from college, MSU, Michigan State University, amazing, wonderful moment. I think one of my proudest moments in my life, because I get that letter in the mail, and I'm opening it up. I'm like, okay, this is it, And I remember like looking in the middle of the street, put my hands in the air, whatever. So it was a great moment. And then going to college and learning, it's quite interesting how loans work and finances work. And I was luckily able to take advantage of a lot of the grants that MSU were able to give me, as well as the government were able to give me through Pell and some other grants that were available. So most of all my college was mainly already paid for, which was like, okay, cool.
That's great.
Yeah, I can do this, and I can make it out. Just through circumstances of FAFSA and my specific situation of where I was at, because it's always different for certain people. So college is a whole different beast in itself. And my college was a public college, not a private college, which there is differences with that from what I've heard from some of my colleagues who went to private school and those who went to a community college. So I'll try to be as quick as possible to get to the how do you be a millennial now type of day. I'll say
the background is good.
Yeah, the background helps a little bit. Just to understand where certain millennials' minds are at. A lot of us are still paying for our college. And for me, I took a 5th year. So I had to pay for that 5th year through loans. And I made a career choice change for my major, betting on of what I wanted to do. They say, do what you love and you'll find what you want to do. Well, I think that's a little bit different now. I think I would be happier with an accounting degree and, doing what I can that that way I can pay my bills, and I'm paying them now, but like that way I can have a much more financially happier career in that terms, in those terms, where in my spare time I can do what I want to do. So fast forwarding 2016, that's when I graduate. I'll walk across the stage. I graduated with a degree in kinesiology and a minor in health promotion. So I know about physical fitness, and I know about how to basically stay healthy or look for healthy alternatives in certain areas and in certain ways. Now that was 2016, so I'm probably a little bit out of my element now, but through that education, I was able to get a job with a food and safety company. And from there, I went to the research department and worked with them. And this is all culminating to hitting 2020. But before I hit the 2020, because everybody was hit with 2020 in the worst way possible.
For real.
Post-college and 2019 was a very interesting time period for myself personally. I moved in with my friends from high school, and it was fine. It was good. It wasn't anything bad, I would think. And I'm someone you had to push pretty far to make it kind of bad. So maybe the other people would be like, oh, I can't stand the certain situations I'm in. But for me, it was fine. It was livable. I could deal with it. And learning about, paying the bills, learning about how to communicate better with multiple people in the household. And I had a pet at the time. His name is Titan. And Brother Nate knows him. And he's a very sweet dog. So it's learning about how to, raise a dog while also living in your own, in a sense, with your roommates. And it was fun. It was fine. circumstances had happened where there was a St. Patty's Day party upstairs from our unit where the floor, our ceiling, caved in, which
What?
forced us.
Oh, wow.
It was really packed.
That was a serious party.
It was
Oh,
a
my
serious
Man,
party.
I
Yes,
never
yeah.
partied like that.
Right.
Me either. Didn't want to be a part of it, but somehow got enthralled into it, because when we walked outside of our room, or rushed outside of our unit, because we thought the ceiling was going to cave in. There was just, easily 30 people in the hallway, and then you can look through the windows of the doorway and see outside, and there's probably 50 plus people outside. So there's at least 70 people within an eye shot
Wow.
of the hallway and the eye shot of just looking outside.
Wow.
And there's got to be, if there's at least 70, it's 70 plus. There could be 20 people in the unit, it could be another 30 people on the outside, so you're almost looking at 120 plus people in a single unit. So definitely wasn't happy about that, but we were forced to move out of that area due to that. And we all went our separate ways, except for one of my roommates. So we ended up living together. And there was a real cold winter. I think that was 2017 or 2018. Budgeting has been my best, I think, asset. I would buy rice and ramen noodles. And
man.
I wouldn't go for the
oh
right.
my God.
That's the college 5-course meal.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly. Look, that's the same between our generations.
Yeah.
That's
That
right.
is
I learned a whole lot about preparing my own meals. So you save a whole bunch. Like if you look at it, if you're paying, I went to Noodles & Company yesterday and paid a meal, and the meal was $14 for a bowl of noodles, some steak, and a drink. And I thought that was extremely ridiculous, because I could spend $14, get a steak, get noodles, get vegetables, get a drink, and only spend $10 at the most part. And $8 of those dollars would be for the meat, and the rest of it would have been for the vegetables. And there might be a $1 drink that I could get. So I know I could have saved a whole lot more if I prepared it for myself, because I didn't really do anything special to it that I couldn't do. But saying that is the budgeting part. Like, you could spend $14 on a meal, or you could spend less than $14 and save a whole lot more. And that's what I was able to do, and budget, understand how to budget a little bit better, because I wasn't taught that. I had to actually learn that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, where did that mindset come from? Was it something you saw in the home, or you just had, by trial and error, came up with that? But you just said you weren't taught that. So yeah,
Right.
how did you come up with? Because and the reason I'm asking is because I see a lot of people going out, not really having a regard for what things cost, not really looking to maximize the budget in terms of, should I shop or should I go to the restaurant? My experience, that mindset is not common. Where did that come from?
It's not.
Yeah, I think that really stems right back to when I was 17, 18, when I was like, okay, I'm getting a check. I have money to spend. What am I going to spend it on? How I'm going to spend it? How do I use this amount of money as effectively as possible? And at that time, I even, my mom was upset with me. I took myself off the phone bill. She's like, why are you taking yourself off the phone bill? Don't take yourself off the phone bill. So I was like, but I want to pay I want to pay for my own phone. I want to pay for my own phone bill. She's like, you shouldn't be doing, you should be saving your money.
I wonder if my children are listening to this podcast. Wow.
I love it. And I was going to mention that. I was going to mention that when you spoke of that earlier. It's so cool to have that job in high school experience, because that is where you kind of learn. I got this much, I got to do this and this with it. And you learn that. And I was just listening to how you was rattling off the math
right
about the steak dinner, and I'm like, oh yeah, you definitely good at budget.
Yeah, so it was a fun time at that point. And she was upset, obviously, but I was like, okay, well, it's my bill, it's my phone, I want to do it my way. and it wasn't out of like me being in prideful or anything. It's like I wanted to do it for myself as a growing young man, not in the sense of knowing that I'm trying to be a growing young man. It's more like I think I really need to do this for myself. So with that, yeah, the budgeting and how far I could push my dollar and stretch the dollar, I think all that came from that point, and just noticing or being, I want to say, cognizant of market trends and where you can spend your money, and how to spend your money. So all that helped and prepare me to do better with budgeting. My dad likes to say that I am in more positive ways than what I'll say, but in what I'll say most plain speak, he says I am a cheapskate. So
You're frugal.
yeah. That's, but we all know.
You know what he means. Oh my goodness.
And I will go like I'll find the cheapest way to do things. Like this outfit that I'm wearing now, it may look real nice, but I'm pretty sure I bought some of this off of Amazon on a deal, and this tie may have come from a thrift store. I think actually it is, because the threads are coming loose on the bottom end. But it's, you will never know because
you wouldn't know.
I hide the tie. So
that's called being resourceful too.
Exactly.
It is.
And I didn't find more about the thrift store till I want to say 2018. So it's more so like knowing more and more and realizing more how you can stretch your dollar. So now fast forward to 2020. I think millennials have it the hardest now than any other generation, because not only are we hit with a kind of 2008 recession currently right now, but we're also hit with a lot of us losing our jobs, a lot of us having to change or find a better way for our career, a lot of us having to adapt to not seeing people we would always see for a period of time. And I talk to some of my friends right now, and they say, it's such a shift and it's such a shock to think that 2020 was 2 years ago, when it really feels like it was, oftentimes last month. Like it just feels like it was so close, but during those past 2 years, it went by so quickly.
Yeah.
And it's that shift and that change that's very difficult, that I think for us millennials, and also I think even more so for an older generation, because the older generations had to learn how to use Zoom, whereas my generation, it wasn't that hard. We were already kind of FaceTiming and Zooming beforehand. So, but
so I have a question there.
Yeah, go ahead, Jake.
So with that, you say, a lot of millennials are losing their jobs and everything. Why is no one working? Everywhere you go, the places are closed because there are no workers, or they're closing early, or they got help wanted signs, and all these positions are normally filled by younger people. So where are they?
Yeah, I have a theory or an idea of that. I think it's a lot of things. It's a myriad of a lot of things. It's one of people realizing how much of their time is worth and valuable to them, that they're not risking dealing with customer service jobs. I had one, making $7.95, $8 an hour. They're realizing that their time per hour is worth more than $8 an hour, that they want way more for their time. I'll say for me, my time is, I think I will be happy, really happy with a 21 plus hour, job. I can live comfortably with that. I can set myself up well with that. Like I said, I can stretch my dollar. But yes, a lot of young people are realizing, no, I don't want to have the possibility of coffee or soup being thrown in my face because the customer doesn't like it. Even though I personally wasn't the one who prepared it for them. I'm just handing them their food or charging them for their food, and yet I'm the one getting the punishment of it. So there's those jobs. Other jobs which are more demanding on the body, that aren't paying as much. So you're talking about dock workers, or someone in like the mechanical machinist like field, where they're lifting 50 to 75-pound boxes a day.
Mhm.
Sure, we're young, our backs can handle it in per se, but over time, that's still not, it's not healthy. To constantly putting a load on your back, and if you're improperly lifting and not taking care of your healthy needs, because you don't have enough funds to fund a healthier diet and a healthy activity lifestyle outside of work, you're going to end up having more nutritional and health uh, effects than not. So you end up, as they say, burning the candle at two ends, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Wow.
So I would say a lot of young people are hitting that point. I'll
Yeah.
also say, right now, currently, as far as I'm aware, I've been only seeing this being reported that jobs are the unemployment rate has been dropping, as in it's now, I think, a national average of like less than 4 or 5%, which is
Mhm.
healthy, which is where America was at 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
So it was a healthier, economy time, a normal economy time, I will say.
Mhm.
Before COVID and now post COVID, that's where a lot of people are at. And a lot of people changed their careers, a lot of people changed where they wanted to go because they realized, again, their worth and what they really wanted to do, especially when companies decided to choose profit over
Oh,
over
okay.
employees.
Hmm.
Wow.
I got a question on that.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I've seen the trend, and I think Alex, you can speak to this. You're talking about knowing your worth and job choices. Um, I've seen a lot of young people opt for lower paying jobs that they report give them a sense of fulfillment and also allow them to do other things like travel
Uh-huh.
or other types of hobbies or interests, things that they want to do, that having the traditional 9 to 5 corporate kind of job won't allow you to do. So they'll take a job basically to be able to fund the activities that they enjoy doing when they're not working. What is that mentality all about?
That
Is it about fulfillment, personal fulfillment? Is that what that is?
It's probably down to that like psychological type thing where you feel most fulfilled by doing things that you most enjoy. I think
Mhm.
it's that and quality of life uh and the life is short type of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, we all really figured out how short life can be in the past 2 years than before. We all
Yeah.
have experienced that in such a way that it will never be the same 2019 as it is 2023, 2024, and so forth.
Right.
Um, so I think because of that, a lot of people would probably take lower paying jobs, but those jobs offer the most amount of flexibility that they can't get anywhere else.
Mhm.
That pleases them the most because, yes, if I can spend um, 7 hours or 8 hours at this job and be more productive, or I'll even say jobs that allow you to work at home. There was reported
Mhm.
that there are people who work. Um, thank you, Lady Sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the national jobless rate is 3.8. So I was getting
It
somewhere.
was
I was like
close,
less than
man.
4%, less than
You
four
was close.
percent. So I was
Look at
there.
you. You got your knowledge intact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for fact checking me, please. Uh, but so the um, I almost lost my track. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Lady Sugar will make you do that, man. A unique power to make you
I
lose
mean, I
your brain.
appreciate the fact checking. That was good. Yes.
Yeah, that was very
Yes.
good.
Okay, so yeah, the quality of life, and people will have jobs where they can work at home,
Yeah.
and they might even have two jobs working at home. So they may spend. There's studies that were saying that people were able to
Mhm.
technically work 12 to 14 hours in that day, but because they're working at home, they can do so much more and be more successful throughout that time, especially if they're going on a vacation trip to somewhere else and they're still able to, type in, zoom in, and be there for a meeting or write up a report of some sort.
Wow.
So
Wow.
it was there's that too.
Okay. I have a question kind of segue into that. For your generation, do you think therefore more millennials are opting for not going the traditional route of college and maybe going into entrepreneurship? I think that has become a big thing amongst this newer generation. Everybody's trying to start their own business, have their own. Do you see a shift in that amongst the people you're around versus going to college and doing it the quote unquote traditional way?
I see a certain two shifts. So I want to say beginning 2000, there's or I will even say earlier, it was always a push of go to college, get an education, become a doctor, lawyer of some sort,
Right.
and make money.
That's
right.
The formula, right?
That's the classic
That's the old way.
ABC get me to Z formula. And I think it worked well for some people, but I think it also left people with a lot of debt. And that was something that we realized later on post 2012 was that most Americans are still carrying debt from their college years. And I'll say even between 2007 to 2012, it was pushed to us middle schoolers and high schoolers so much about going to college.
Mhm.
So there was a shift to go to college, and there was a shift to also between 2000 and 2022 of starting your own business.
Mhm.
Both of those were happening at the same time concurrently. In my idea, I could be wrong. I'm fine with that. Fact check me, somebody. I know somebody who hopefully will. But both of those were working in tandem. Some people were going to college so they can start their own business. Some people were starting their own business and then going to college. So it was, hand in hand.
That's good.
Post 2020, I'll say, or even, up to that point, there's a shift away from just going to college because college isn't for everyone. And it really isn't.
Right.
But I think the college experience is pretty much, if you cannot learn how to communicate effectively with your peers, your professors, people who are higher than you or lower than you, be able to actually build a network of people, not a net worth to your name, in a sense, beforehand, then what you'll end up having is post-college, you'll have a nice decorative piece of paper that has nice 20 to 40K debt tied to it. And that's it. You don't have any real skills.
That's such a good point. And I'll say just a little bit in what I've experienced with some of the people that I went to college with or around my age group. I graduated in 98. But I can't tell you the countless people that I know that either graduated and are not working in their field.
Right.
Or graduated high school, tried college and hang on, but they still have this debt they're incurring because they either get in the system and they can't make it work for them. They go to school, they take the classes, they may pass some of the classes, but they're not building that network, or they don't know how to build that network to really find their niche in the field that they want to be in. So they find themselves stuck or outside the bubble, and they're not moving forward.
Right. And it comes down to, it's one of the things of fraternities and sororities where they have an advantage because they get you in the door by basis of association alone. And that has its weight, its social net worth, I'll say, because, you went through so-and-so. Oh, who knows you? How do I trust you? Oh, they trust you? Okay, I can trust you too.
Right.
Here's this nice little chair with, a 50K bonus every year. Let's get you working because so-and-so knows you and we all know each other from such and such organization. So that door is opened up instantly. Whereas other people who don't take the fraternity or sorority or Greek school type of route, they have to build up their own network by meeting people, by going to clubs or organizations or communicating with their professors. And again, that means you have to talk. And there's some people who are real good book smart, but they're not good socially smart. And
absolutely,
that's where a lot of people can
that
fall
works for them.
Right.
Wow.
right.
It's very insightful, Alex. Very insightful.
And
very insightful.
Yeah. And then the last thing on that part is people who've taken the trades, because at I want to say 2015 and up, I was reading an article about trade schools and how the pay for them was being bumped up, like they're bumping up these pay for these trade school jobs because no one was going to, because it was being pushed so heavily and so
Right.
hard to be a college student, that
Right.
being a mechanic, being an electrician, being
Yeah.
a plumber,
Mhm.
who they make a lot of
Lot
money.
of-
like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
they
do
do.
well.
they do
Very well.
They work
very
hard
well.
for it, but
Yeah.
they make that money.
I've thought of going back and like, hey, maybe I could just pick up welding and just start, putting pieces together or something, because they make a whole
Mhm.
lot of money, and it's
They do.
when you realize what's on the stake and what's at the table. um, being a doctor is great, wonderful, beautiful. Being a lawyer is great, wonderful, and beautiful. But if it's not for you, you have to find something that is for you. And if you can't, you might as well pick up a trade while you're at it, and you
Yeah.
can find your way along the way while you're working, rather than just always going to college, finding yourself in debt, and then finding yourself where you need to be, and then you're still paying off the debt. So, but the trade schools were increasing their prices in terms of payouts to people, and that was I think a shift that was slowly starting to become realized, that I think took a hit like anybody else due to COVID.
Yeah.
Oh,
when,
yeah.
when my kids were becoming of college age, and we were having those conversations, Michelle and I were always pro education.
Mhm.
I was more pro education, but use
Mhm.
that education to fuel doing the things that you want to do, that you love to do.
Okay.
Go to school, learn business so that you can own a business.
Mhm.
Learn whatever college can teach you so you can take that knowledge and build something for yourself, rather than, running
Right.
out and going to work for the man.
Right.
And at trade school, I also preach that a lot, because I saw the value in the fact that, the traditional 4-year degree usually is seclusive for certain individuals.
Yeah.
Not seclusive, but exclusive for certain individuals, because everybody, like you said, Alex, doesn't want to go to school, or college is not for them. And I find it interesting that you say that, being a college graduate.
Mhm.
Usually people who say that are averse to college, but
Yeah.
I find it interesting that you would say that's actually pretty insightful.
I see it.
I want
Looking at
to,
this generation. Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, Jake?
Mhm.
Yeah, I want to segue before we lose our time, talking about things that fulfill us and make us happy. You have a podcast show that you participate in, or that you started, and I'd like you to tell us more about that. It's called the My History.
Yes. So it's capital M. I actually had to look it up myself right now. Capital M, capital I, capital H, I story. So my history. And it's a play on the words Michigan and histories, and also my story in a sense. The idea came up out of due to 2020, losing my job at a what I felt like a very safe company. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not doing anything with my time. I want to do something, and I'm on unemployment. I'm listening to podcasts, and I think, well, I think I could do pretty all right with a podcast, and thought about it for about a couple months, and mulling over how do I even start it. Uh, then it came to me. I was like, you know what, just do it, and
Right.
and we'll figure it out from there.
Just start.
Right,
That's
just
it.
throw yourself to the wolves, and you'll figure out how to fight real quick. So.
True.
So that's what I did, and I'm now in my third season currently.
Wow, congrats.
And thank you.
Yeah.
I've figured out how to upload to video to YouTube, and do a little bit of editing with it as well. I'm on a lot of podcast platforms. I'm sure you'll figure it out from the links I sent. Links in the description. Make sure you like and subscribe somewhere around, here.
Right.
Right.
But the podcast, what it is basically myself sitting down with someone else that I have talked to in the past, or someone I just met, and getting their story of either being in Michigan. But I'm kind of shifting from Michigan to just a story about them. I like to hear what people have to say, and I think it's a beauty when there's a beauty to it when people talk and explain something that they've experienced from their point of view, whether it's just them talking about their life or them having a situation that they thought was hilarious that they think someone else would have an enjoyment of. If you think about it in not necessarily tribal like times, but close to it, you've had specific important roles within that village where someone was the storyteller, the bard of some sort, and that's kind of how stories and ideas and concepts started, was from a song of some story of some warrior or some maiden or some tale of wondrous person, somebody, right?
Right.
And it gets passed around through that. It gets passed around through these ways. So I thought, what if we can do that same thing with podcasts? And people are connected through stories. People are connected through ideas, the things that they can relate to, and we can relate to people because we're people. We're not outside of ourselves. Also, at the time of the pandemic, Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter were counter protests to each other.
Yeah.
And I thought if people were able to listen to each other more, talk to each other more, and again, listen, that part right there, more than talk to each other, maybe my podcast or maybe somebody out there would think, I wonder if my actions or my thoughts are possibly causing a negative reaction. Just being a little more mindfulness in that sense. How do I make sure I'm not offending somebody in the best way possible without, going the extra mile in a way? I guess that's the way I was thinking about it. And that's where I came up with the podcast, and that's where I've been doing so far. Like I said, I have 3 seasons. Each season is about 10 episodes of me talking with somebody. I have some repeats, some non-repeats, some first timers. Everybody who's got on said, I don't have a story. And then about an hour later, we have content. So
right. I love the concept.
Yeah.
And every time I end the podcast with peace, love, and prosperity, because I wholeheartedly believe in peace and love, and I want everyone to be prosperous. So,
Awesome. That's good.
Wow. Yeah, I had a chance to listen to a couple episodes, and definitely, I think the podcasting genre is made for you.
Good.
You do a great job. You do a great job. I see that microphone there in front of you.
Yes.
Is that made by Rode by chance?
It is not. It is a knockoff because I like to be a little bit cheaper. So
because I'm going to say with your frugal nature, that Rode is kind of expensive. But it sounds good.
Yeah, I can do a whole
very good.
You have to hit me out with that brand because I'm looking for a mic upgrade myself.
Oh yeah, this may not be a downgrade, but it definitely works. So it's good. I like it.
Okay,
so this before we get off, does anybody else have any?
We had a couple of questions from our comments.
Oh, please, yes.
Real quick. There was a question for you that said, "What would you tell your freshman self?"
Oh, my freshman self? Quit and go to. No, I'm just kidding. My freshman self, I would have. My freshman self was fine. My freshman self was on the right track. My freshman self would agree with what I would say now. It's my junior year self. That's where we had differences. I tell my junior year self to stay in the field that they were in, because oftentimes if you just hunker down and stay focused and continue what you're doing, you will get to where you need to go. And that's what I didn't do. That's the point where I changed my career choice and went with a kinesiology degree versus a microbiology degree. And the reason why I did that was because I lost confidence in myself and my ability to do my studies, as well as I fell in love with, because at the time I was a camp counselor, working and going to school during the summer. And I was like, I enjoy creating these games for these kids and doing these like events and planning and like, Timmy and Tommy, stop fighting, like it was fun and it was enjoyable because I could I could understand children, and they can understand me, and we can have a whole bunch of fun just playing simple games. And that was more enjoyment than me than I thought of sitting by someone's like bed, letting them know that they have 2 months to live, you know, like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think anybody, right? Yeah,
Right.
So
That's a
hard
big
to
deflation.
choose.
That's a big
Yeah.
From the kids.
yeah.
So I was like, maybe I should just do this because I enjoy it. But I think the end result was that I ended up in a company that if I had my microbiology degree, I would have been better suited for and better prepared for the coming years that were happening.
Right.
So I think my junior self was on the right track to staying as a microbiology major. And I would have told my junior self, you know, don't switch, even though it's rough, even though you'll probably pass with C's, but C's get degrees. So at the end of the day,
They do.
You know, they do. There really is. And it's all about how you communicate with people afterward. It's not so much with, like I say, it's better to learn how to communicate with people than it is to have a piece of paper and no communication skills. Like that. I believe a colleague of mine was telling me how a cousin of his got an interview, has no experience whatsoever of what they put down on their resume, and got the job.
Wow.
Moved out to California, and all they did was just talk. And I was like, well, it is about who you know and how you communicate than it is about, you know.
Wow.
Again, I guess the last thing I'll say about it is the piece of paper is a door opener. But again, if you don't know how to open the door and talk and introduce yourself, you know, you're okay. All right, nice to see you. Stay by that wall over there. You know.
Next.
Okay.
I think that's one of the most valuable points you've made because it goes hand in hand. It's not just the paper.
Mm-hmm.
It will get you in the door. It'll get the phone call back, but
Right.
you got to be able to seal the deal with communication and be able to, you know, articulate who you are.
That
So
is
exactly.
and we don't tell our kids that, so I think that's a good point.
That is good. Yeah.
That's very good. You represent your millennial generation very well.
Yes, you do.
Oh. You're a very hardworking sort. I'll say that.
Yes.
But can we clone you now?
Right.
We need more like Alex.
As long as I can have a clone, they can go to work. I'm gonna sit back and relax. So yeah.
I have a 14-year-old, so he'll be making this decision in just a few years on where he wants to go to college and what he's going to do. He wants to go into engineering, but I'm curious, what advice would you give to a high schooler?
To anyone who is considering college, I still think, you know, go ahead and do it. I would think if you're trying to save money, community college is completely fine. There is nothing wrong with it. Lansing has a great community college called Lansing Community College. I don't know how community colleges are elsewhere, but for the most part, my understanding is that those community colleges work very well in reducing your price, as well as giving you the most amount of education as they can. And I would definitely do that because it gives you a taste about how to be disciplined. And that is one of the hardest things when you're in college, is being disciplined for yourself, because it's only you. Like everything else is tied to you. The loans, the bills, the books you rent out, it's all in your name. So it's all on you to do your best. And if you're taking this big risk, take community college first, even for a semester or two. And if you can 4.35 it, 4 it, then I think college is the next step for you. If you find yourself having more difficulties, you know, find the solutions, look for the solutions, communicate, talk, because what would happen if you didn't? The same thing, what would happen if you did? I mean, or in the sense of like, if you're going to get a no, why not ask and find out if you get a no? Because it could be a yes, you know? So if that makes sense, hopefully that makes sense.
That's really good.
Yeah,
it does.
We have definitely learned a whole lot from you today, sir.
We did.
Yeah.
Thank you,
man.
And it's so close to how my own son thinks, because he struggled at the university, but he aced community college, and then straight A's in community college. So, and he recently told me that, you know, once he came home after college, he was in a kind of a depressed state because the loans were, you know, cutting into his checks and stuff. And so, and I said, you never revealed that to me. He said, I just was kind of flowing with it, you know, until things changed. But definitely now he's at a point where he works from home, and he said he wouldn't even want to go back to a, you know, an outside job. So you definitely are where the millennial mind is.
Yeah. It is I still got debt right now currently that I'm paying off as much as I can. And it's the whole having loans, and it can be very depressing. It can be very straining and stressful, because it's always on your mind. It is in your name, and it's holding you back financially on a credit level from accessing a higher point in your life, because it's on your credit report. So you can't do more with it that you want to. You know, you have to take it and continue on. It's interesting. You say he was having a harder time at a university than community college. I wonder what he did differently at the university versus community college, because I only say that because community college will have 2,000 students, 2,000, 300,000 students, depending on the community college, and they serve everyone from 18 to 65, whereas universities, they're a little more pricier, and, you'll have probably the same age range, but I would say it's more skewed toward the 18 to 25-year-olds. And then there's this like section of, 25 up, but it's a very smaller section where that's, usually to staff and so forth. So I'm wondering if, not saying he did or didn't, but I wonder if his focus was as disciplined as it was at a community college as it was at a university level. Or were there other distractions that made it?
That's what I think it was. The distractions of the university.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot. There's a lot of distractions.
Tons.
Right.
Yeah, the community college would definitely limit your distractions.
Yeah.
Right.
It's easier to stay focused on school and classwork at community college.
Yeah. So that's what I would think, and that's what I would say. If to anyone who has a similar situation, limit your distractions. It may be uncomfortable, but a lot of times that uncomfortability, you'll find something else. You'll find the actual where your happiness at. So any other questions? I'm ready.
We got anything else in the studio audience there, Talitha?
We do. We have, you kind of maybe touched on it a little bit, but one question was, did you fear graduation, and did you fear entering the workforce? So how was it finding a job after college?
Difficult. It was really difficult. How do I? Because
just tell the truth. Why don't you?
Yeah, I do. I will. It was not easy. My degree again was in kinesiology, and a lot of people with my specific degree go into, there's a gym teacher, or they go and become an athletic trainer.
Okay.
But I didn't necessarily want to do that. I wanted to be someone who was a program coordinator under a community parks and recreation, or for camp counseling and so forth. But I didn't find any open positions for that. And the interviews I did have for it, they at the time, specifically this one place, they said, "Oh well, you haven't graduated yet." But this was in May, and my graduation was like a week away. So it was like, you really can't wait a week.
Right.
Wow.
So could have been other things involved there. I'm not sure what it was, but it was discouraging. That's what pushed me toward this food and safety company, because I had a microbiology background. I knew science. I wasn't like, I was devoid of any other type of knowledge. So I think that's something you should consider if you're in school, is have a minor, if not double major. It will be very difficult, but take your time and breathe, remember to breathe. That's the most important part, because sometimes we'll hold our breath and not realize it, and we're needing oxygen.
Right.
So I would say it was difficult for me to find a job, and once I found a job, I was happy with it. And now I'm on this mindset where you should always be striving for the best every single moment that you can, because in that job, I realize a lot of people in any position would, if you're in a high enough position, you're there forever. But if you're any lower position, you're there for 3 years maximum. And I think that was telling of people's not work ethic. What's the word? I'm going to make up a whole new word, and that's something you do in the science. You just make up something. Work tiresome. So you get tired because it's mundane, or you need something different. So work to strive for something better.
So Alex,
yeah,
would you say it's partially timing also, because like now your area, health and fitness, is booming. That's the hot spot right now.
Yeah, and right now I wear many hats. One of the hats is that I am the Board of Health chairman in Ingham County, and so that kind of fits right in for that. Basically, we help advise and advocate for programs and areas that we think Ingham County should be taking notice of. That's what we primarily do. And we have different people from different areas, from environmental health to physical and human health as well.
Yeah.
And
Wonderful.
Wow. I didn't know you did that, Alex. Yeah, that's good.
What do they say? Real G's move in silence.
Well rounded. That's cool.
All right. So thank you, Alex, for all your insight. I mean, this has been amazing. I mean, you have really, I'm going to actually have my son listen to this.
I was going to say, he kind of taught parents.
It's a lot to talk about and a lot to consider, even as a parent today. It is a little different from maybe when I went to college or when you gentlemen went to college. So a lot to consider, because there's so many avenues we can go into now. It's not just the formula like we talked about.
Right.
So thank you so much for.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you,
sir.
Alex. Been wonderful. Thumbs up to you. Clap and thank you.
Right. Yes.
Yes. If you have any questions further down the road, or if your children need like a quick advice, just send me or get a touch with Brother Nate there, and we can do the connection.
Yeah,
awesome. Thank you.
Most definitely. All right, guys. Well, we certainly appreciate the time today. Went by fast as usual, and man, I think like I said earlier, we all learned something tonight. We learned something a lot. We definitely are richer for the experience. I want to thank you, Alex, again for coming on and being with us.
Appreciate you.
I want to thank Talitha for coming in and being an awesome, great host.
It's been an honor.
A great guest host for us. In Ray's absence, he'll be happy to know that you did a phenomenal job.
Yes.
So
excellent.
Hopefully we can have you back again real soon. Our time is gone, but we got to get that wisdom nugget in. We got to get that wisdom nugget in. We got to get it in. So here we go. On the topic of education, what is the difference between school and life, you ask? In school, you're taught a lesson, then you're given a test. In life, you're given a test that teaches you a lesson. And that is the wisdom nugget.